Lawrence Bitter First Division Championship time. Salford against the mighty Wigan. Wigan on this tremendous roll of success, being received by their fans as if it's a home game. But it's a good sight to see the Willows nearly full for once. Let me quickly run through the Salford and the Wigan teams. It's Tyres at full-back, the three-quarters are Ford, McAvoy, Critchley and Cousins, half-backs Panaper and Gregory, and in the forwards, Young, Lee, Eccles, Marsden, Webster and Blease, and substitutes Watson and Randall. Wigan team, many changes today. Full-back is Aitchison, the three-quarters, Mather, Twiggamala, Connolly and Rudlinski, half-backs Paul and Murdoch, and in the forwards Skerrett, Hall, O'Connor, Betts, Cassidy and Farrell. Substitutes Long and Cowie and Jack. Many changes, but what a formidable task for Salford today.
Well, actually, I think they've got a very good chance because Wigan go into the game missing Martin Offiah, Jason Robinson, Sean Edwards, Frano Botica and Phil Clark. So if ever an opportunity was presented for Salford to beat Wigan, then surely this is it. Big game, of course, for Andy Gregory. He knows all about Wigan and their team, their plans. Couple of seasons since he was there, but nonetheless, a big occasion for him as well. Defeat, of course, for Salford in the first game under Gregory's leadership on Wednesday evening against Warrington. But nonetheless, a big opportunity to put that right this afternoon. And, of course, a big day as well for Terry O'Connor, who left Salford during the close season to link up with the champions at Central Park. I was speaking to Terry in midweek, and he is really looking forward to this game here this afternoon. And Salford surely will have certainly a great opportunity. Wigan, without some of their stars, they've obviously got one eye on the semi-final to come next Saturday at Huddersfield against Oldham. Of course, Martin Offiah and Frano Botica picked up injuries in midweek while Salford were losing to Warrington. Wigan were doing the business at Norton Park. And it's Henry Paul immediately, the action underway. Andy Gregory. Salford just outside their own 20-metre line. David Young tries a sidestep, runs it straight into Terry O'Connor and his opposite number, Kelvin Skerrett. But Salford moving the ball intelligently from the half-back position, and they made good yardage already up to the halfway line. Mark Lee, an acting half-back, across to Bob Marsden. Marsden charges forward. Good tackling from Martin Hall. He missed out, of course, in the Wigan win in midweek. No marker, so Marsden plays it to himself. Andy Gregory puts it down that right-hand touchline. It's collected by B.J. Mather. Only his second start for Wigan this season. His first one was at Norton Park on Wednesday against Widnes, and he finds himself on the right wing today. It's the other winger at the moment in possession. Chris Rudlinski drives forward. Good tackling from Salford in the early stages. The ball across to Terry O'Connor. First touch from Terry O'Connor. One or two boos and jeers for O'Connor, who used to be a former Salford player. Dennis Betts takes it just over the halfway line. And Wigan again are looking to move the ball quickly. Strong burst forward from Kelvin Skerrett. Can't release the ball to Martin Hall. But nonetheless, that's a good burst forward from Skerrett. We're up to the last tackle. No Sean Edwards, of course, so Craig Murdoch with the high up and under. Not a lot of distance, but nonetheless, a difficult one for Gary Tyler to take, and he can't take it. It's Phil Ford who's just kicked the ball over the touchline. It was a long high punt which came up into the air from Sean Long. Presumably he's taking over the kicking responsibilities this afternoon from Sean Edwards. And it was a difficult kick for Gary Tyler to deal with.
Yeah, and he did it very well, I thought, Jack. And unlucky that he couldn't hang on to it, vital in the end. But it was good to see Phil Ford backing up Brits Wigan again.
And it's with the Twiglamala. Panaper wraps him up quickly. The two Kiwis in competition there. Here comes Mick Cassidy. Cassidy drives forward down the centre of the field. The pitch very firm, as you can see. And Marty Hall now across to Andy Farrell, returning after injury this afternoon for the Riversiders. And Wigan have set up a pretty good position here. There goes Craig Murdoch again. He misses out Dennis Betts. Kelvin Skerrett takes a short pass from Murdoch. Salford under pressure, still in the early stages. Connolly across to Murdoch. If the ball comes out, and it didn't from Murdoch, Andy Gregory. Well, that was a high tackle, said the referee. Offside on the far side of the field. So Wigan have a penalty. No Frano Botica, remember, this afternoon for Wigan. So what will they do here? It's going to be Martin Hall who's going to take it. And there's a little bit of confusion here, I think, in the Wigan camp. Andy Gregory's been pulled out for a lecture. And Henry Paul will take over the kicking responsibilities for Wigan this afternoon in the absence of Frano Botica. So it goes from one Kiwi to another. And Henry Paul will try and put the first points of the afternoon on the board. Just 3 minutes gone. And certainly, if Frano Botica was out there, you would expect him to pop this one over. We'll have to see what Henry Paul can do with it. Andy Gregory obviously unhappy about the referee's decision, but it all came from that high bomb, which appeared to be collected initially by Gary Tyrer, but then possession was lost. Wigan had head and ball from the resultant scrum. And all of a sudden, Salford find themselves in a situation where Wigan could add on the first points of the afternoon. So, Henry Paul, from way out on that right-hand side, is an opportunity for him to put points on the board this afternoon. Not a particularly good one. In fact, it's a dreadful attempt at a conversion from Henry Paul. It didn't go dead. Salford in possession with Phil Ford, who sets off from a standing start, runs straight into Mick Cassidy. Assistance there from Veer Twiglemala, taken up by Jason Critchley. Certainly a spirited start to the game by the Red Devils. They're obviously being fired up by Andy Gregory. Across the ball, the line, it goes to David Young. David Young takes it, couldn't get it out to his second row partner, Cliff Eccles. Well, now here comes Ian Blease. And Salford take the play sensibly away from the danger area, at least. Again, the ball spins out to Gregory. Gregory kicks for position. It's not a bad kick. Rydlinski and Aitchison, the two covering players for Wigan. And Rydlinski in possession. The whole posse of Salford players move forward to tackle Rydlinski right on the edge of his own 20-metre line. BJ Mather. And that's good work from Mather. Brought the first couple of tackles. Good work from Mather right down the centre of the field. And now it's Farrell. And Wigan have now cleared the lines very comfortably indeed in just 3 tackles. Martin Hall across to Terry O'Connor. He goes charging forward. And obviously, the Salford supporters making their presence felt, what they feel about the return of Terry O'Connor. Henry Paul with the sidestep, got the ball to Murdoch. Murdoch looking for support. Good tackling from Salford. And we're up to the last tackle. Henry Paul then, all on his own at the moment. Another bomb goes up, another tester for Tyra. It won't go that far. Henry Paul with some basketball. Dennis Betts chips it forward. And still, Gary Tyra came across, and that was good fullback play.
Oh, it certainly was, and it's good, comfortable, competent defence from Salford at this stage, but Wigan showing their class already by making very positive ground with every play, and indeed in the last 6 they took the ball from inside their own 20 to the Salford 20, and full credit to that Salford defence and Gary Tyra fearlessly for the second time going down to take a ball. And Salford, as you rightly point out, playing with a lot of verve and endeavour, as we know Salford are capable of, but it's the 6-1 already and Salford still in their own half. Bob Marston finding Manny support, a pass wasn't quite in control, neither was that kick, but and a little bit of carelessness at the end of that move, Jack, and that is perhaps a sign of the difference between the two teams, that Salford just couldn't make it into ground position.
Well, as you probably saw there, Andy Gregory absolutely disappointed with that situation. Phil Cousins knocked the ball on, not happy with the way that Salford attack petered out, and Wigan back in possession, and that's something Salford don't want to do, hand possession to Wigan if they can avoid it. At the moment they can't. That's Terry O'Connor and Andy Gregory. Difference of opinion, 1 or 2 verbals, and Andy Gregory already making his presence felt. Meanwhile, here goes Veer Twiglemala, strong, powerful burst from the Kiwi. Good tackling from Salford, but they're still looking pretty dangerous. Midway between the halfway line now, just on the edge of the Salford 20-metre line. Farrell gets it across, out to the fullback is Aitchison. That was Murdoch's pass, and we're up to the last tackle. Expect another bomb. Just look at the position of Murdoch. That's the option Wigan choose. This time it's out towards Henry Paul. Henry Paul back inside. Murdoch will score for Wigan on 7 minutes. It was on the last tackle. And I think Salford perhaps expected the high ball. 2 previous occasions, the bomb had gone up from Murdoch, but that time he chose to run the ball. He took the return pass. And Craig Murdoch standing in for Sean Edwards this afternoon, scoring, I think we have to say, a typical Sean Edwards try.
Going over for the first try always looked in this first 8 minutes the more likely team to score. But Salford have made a good start for all that, even though they're now finding themselves 6-0 down with 8 minutes gone. Henry Paul successful with that conversion attempt. Salford getting back to the halfway line a little bit slowly. Salford fans, though, still trying to raise their team. They've certainly seen a spirited start from them. It was interesting to see Andy Gregory and Terry O'Connor having words in the build-up to that Wigan try. Quite what was being said, we'll never know from up here. But what was being said wasn't enough to stop the Wigan charge forward. The strength and the power of Wigan, like that man in particular. Sam Panapa that time making sure that Betts didn't get clear. But Terry O'Connor, he wants to show. Oh, superb tackle from Eccles on O'Connor. O'Connor a great favourite here at the Willows. Dennis Betts trying to find an opening, and he does. Marston misses him. Bates going forward, goes round Tyra. Has he got the pace? No, he hasn't. Great cover defence from Cliff Eccles, but Dennis Betts having it all his own way on that particular break. Henry Paul again, going past forward once, not twice. And again, Salford being penalised for being offside. The referee allowing the advantage for several seconds before pulling Salford back for being in an offside position. But a great play from Dennis Betts. It looked as though Salford defenders were all around him, but he created space from absolutely nothing and then made 40-yard dash up the middle, many support, and in the end Salford glad not to concede a second try. Great attacking surge from Wigan. Penalty going their way, Salford penalised for being offside. Great credit to Cliff Eccles there for coming back and preventing Dennis Betts for getting totally clear. Henry Paul strokes it. I think the Salford fans made it clear that he'd missed that one. They'll say 6-0, 2 misses, 1 successful one. No Botica today. Might just give Salford a chance. Not the best of clearances, but it went into space. So Rudlinski plays football with it before he makes it in on the Salford chase. Good to put him down early on. Aitchison in the line. Panapa up. Great tackle by Panapa. But still, all this time going forward for Wigan. Salford sticking to the defensive tacks, but Wigan lining out well over that side. Murdoch takes that well before coming inside. Another good tackle from Salford. Every tackle that Salford make is going to be a good one on O'Connor previously. Farrell inside. Andy Gregory goes for the interception, but gives it back to Wigan for another 6.
Well, Wigan really getting a stranglehold on this game at the moment, if not by the score, certainly by the possession as Connolly charges forward. A lot of defensive work for the Red Devils to do, and they'll do well to hold out. 6-0 at the moment. The ball across to Murdoch, inside to Cassidy. Cassidy steps forward. Good tackling from Salford, but Wigan still looking pretty dangerous, just 5 yards from the Salford try line. Farrell tries to barge his way forward. He's held up right on the Salford try line. And these are good moments from Wigan without plenty of their established stars this afternoon. They've made a very good start to the game. Skerritt takes the inside ball from Murdoch. And Murdoch's certainly dominating the proceedings at halfback. He throws it out wide to Henry Paul, inside to Terry O'Connor. Good tackle, but that might have been a forward pass. And another offside decision. And Wigan are in at the far corner, are they? That's BJ Mather. Well, the referee spotting an offside and the Salford line-out. Certainly the home supporters not happy with the referee, Campbell. And he's picking out Phil Ford. Ford is going to the sin bin. And that's a bit of a dramatic start for Salford, and what a disaster.
Oh, well, not a disaster in terms of the referee's decision, not in terms of the Salford defensive effort, because they put in a superb defensive 12. And in the end of the day, it is a sin binning for Phil Ford for not allowing the Wigan player to run 10 metres, but he was ironic jeers from Salford fans. In actual fact, the Wigan player couldn't have run 10 metres forward because there wasn't 10 metres to the line. So Phil Ford playing his enormous part in that Salford defence, which performed heroics for those few minutes to keep Wigan at bay. 12 tackles within the Salford 20. And no Wigan score, but they've got the one score that puts them into the lead, 6-0 for Wigan, and Salford struggling at the minute to break the Wigan stranglehold. Richard Webster's having a go, but the two Wigan tacklers put him down. Twickenham one, Ian Blease makes that his, has to stride, and now it's the referee, this time deciding that Wigan were infringing on the 10 metres. Referee's playing advantage to see whether there is any. And Salford wanting to move it quickly, and this is always good to see. David Young going forward, and Salford in possession inside the Wigan half for the first time. And Cliff Eccles running straight into Martin Hall. Bob Marsden trying to get clear, looks for support, none there, hangs on to it. Lee to Gregory to Panapa. Please, little move, not successful. Please brought down afterwards, and the referee is going to say that that's a Salford penalty. Had to think a long time about that decision, Jack.
Well, he certainly did, and the referee, David Campbell, hasn't endeared himself to the Salford supporters. I feel he's stopping the game unnecessarily. I mean, it may be right or wrongly he's giving offside decisions to both teams or against both teams, but certainly it's stopping the flow of the game, and that's never good for spectators. But certainly an opportunity here for Salford to just peg back that Wigan lead of 6 points to 0. It looks to be a formality. Conditions pretty good as well for goal kickers this afternoon. Not a lot of breeze, dry surface to go at, and a real mound of sand there, so it's practically over the post before he kicks it. So on a good 6 inches of sand. And a chance for Salford to reduce the deficit and the arrears of the game. The sun's shining, but it's shining on Wigan at the moment. It looks to be an easy opportunity. It should be an easy 2 points for Salford. It's long and high, and no problems there. Salford are right back in it.
Yep, with their first foray in possession into Wigan territory, Salford come up with 2 points. Salford, well, they've got Steve Blakely, not quite the Frano Botica, but certainly Salford's Frano Botica, and Tyra, having taken the kick, is back to take the kick off. That's good, sharp awareness from him. Yes, Salford certainly having missed Steve Blakely. Oh, the referee doing absolutely nothing about that, although the ball was either lost or dropped or taken out of Gary Tyra's hand. Referee lets it go on. Salford trying to find a way through. Ian Blease probing. Yes, so Salford missing Steve Blakely in the goal-kicking department. And the referee says that one went back. So Salford having the benefit there of two drop balls. Gregory with the kick. Good kick that's running and running, pushing Wigan back. Not quite sure who's got the win, but judging from that kick, oh yes, it's Salford with the wind advantage, Jack.
Yes, an intelligent kick there from Andy Gregory. It certainly forced Wigan back. They'll get head and ball, of course, from the scrum, but Salford in a good field position nonetheless. And they'll be encouraged by the fact they've got 2 points on the board, and they did it, of course, whilst they're down to 12 men. Phil Ford in the sin bin for showing dissent to the referee, Dave Campbell. Murdoch feeds it quickly. Across the line it goes. That's Paul Aitchison. Can't make a lot of yardage. Again, Murdoch involved, and he's certainly been instrumental in all the early moves coming from Wigan. Martin Hall. Terry O'Connor. Former Salford star, and he spotted a gap. A good break from Terry O'Connor. The ball across to Redlinski. There's points here for Wigan. Connolly will go under the post, and Terry O'Connor will get the credit. The former Salford player set that chance up perfectly for his colleagues. Chris Redlinski, great awareness from him. Super support play from Gary Connolly. He went in underneath the post, but all the credit goes to Terry O'Connor. He busts a couple of tackles on the halfway line. Good support, and Connolly is in underneath the post, and Wigan are comfortable. It's 10 at the moment. Shortly it's going to be 12 without any problems at all, one would suspect, for Henry Paul. And you have to say, despite the fact that Wigan without Martin Afayette, Jason Robinson, Sean Edwards, Frano Botica and Phil Clark, they're not showing any signs of missing those players at the moment. We'll have to wait and see. Early stages, of course. 18 minutes on the clock, and Wigan very comfortable. 12 points to 2 in the lead. Murdoch got a try. Gary Connolly scooted in without a single finger being laid on him, right underneath the posts. And 2 goals as well for Henry Paul, and Wigan will get the ball back. It's a bit of a disastrous start for Salford. They've somehow got to try and resurrect themselves and look for some inspiration from somewhere. It was Terry O'Connor as well to make matters worse for the Salford supporters, who did all the damage on that second try. And they've got a 10-point deficit to come back and try and peg back. Here goes Cassidy for Wigan. Fanaper doing the tackling, Dennis Betts doing the juggling and dropping it. Well, it's not very often you see that, especially without any apparent reason. Dennis Betts gives the ball to Andy Gregory. A scrum down with an opportunity perhaps for Salford to put some pressure on the Wigan defence.
Yes, a rare unforced error from Wigan, from Dennis Betts, and Wigan showing in that previous try, if you let them go past one man, then they are so good at getting many support. Wigan's A-team as good as many First Division teams. Richard Webster going forward on his own powerfully, but only into the arms of the Wigan reception committee. Marston on his own, and Salford not going forward with the same cohesion that we see Wigan go forward in, because Cliff Eccles all on his own, but taken down quickly. But Salford close to that line. Mark Lee, a couple of dummies from him, still going, and Salford in the shadow of the post. Now a score from them here really would look good. Mark Lee goes through on his own. Salford do the best to get over the line, they can't, and all of a sudden Wigan have the chance of a breakout on the right hand side. Twigamala has time to fall, stand up, and still get his pass onto Mather over that side, and Salford regroup. So from under the posts, under the Wigan posts, Wigan get the ball, and with one play make it to almost 10 metres from the halfway line. Salford still down to 12 men, and even with men round him like that, Hall gets the pass away. Great Wigan play that, Jack.
Yeah, smart play, but Salford won't be pleased with their part that they played in allowing Wigan possession once again. Connolly plays it to himself. There's no marker. Well, that's not good enough. Simply from Salford, the ball spun back, picked up by Rydlinski. There's Murdoch. There's plenty of support down that right-hand side. Henry Paul moves it out to Veer Twiglamala. Got round the first tackle. Support from Mather. Mather with the full-back to beat. Salford, what a let-off that was. But I think the pass forward from Mather, the opportunity has been spilled in any case. The chance has gone begging, but Salford again ripped apart, and it all came about when they conceded possession right in front of their own posts. They won't be pleased about that. And the referee's given a scrum, head and ball to Salford. Either a knock-on or a forward pass, not quite sure, probably both. Salford in possession, Gregory an acting halfback. Got to try and inject some enthusiasm and some determination into his team this afternoon, Andy Gregory. Here comes Salford again, running clear from the danger area, but straight into Terry O'Connor and Kelvin Skerrett. Out it comes to Marsden, always a willing runner and a willing worker for Salford, Bob Marsden. And that's Nathan McAvoy. That's a good break as well from McAvoy. He's ball clear, he's all on his own, but good work from the youngster. Salford up to the last tackle. Can they produce from this situation? Across to Webster. Webster tackled in the full by Veer Twiglamala, but he's kept the ball alive. Chance here for Salford. Great play from Wigan. Good defence. That's the last tackle. And that's the best we've seen so far from Salford. They had Wigan on the run, but unfortunately for Salford, they ran out of players and ran out of tackles as well. And Wigan back now comfortable with Henry Paul. But the best opportunity so far for Salford. There's Andy Farrell. Another strong, powerful defensive run from Farrell. And O'Connor this time wrapped up after creating that try for Gary Connolly. 22 minutes gone. Wigan without plenty of their established senior players. They've made a good start to the game. Skerrett drives forward. Ford is back after spending 10 minutes in the sin bin, so we're back to 13 apiece as far as players are concerned. But Wigan have a 10 points advantage in the scoreline. 12-2 they lead at the moment. Salford in possession. Phil Cousins. And now it's David Young. Gregory, a half break to Panapa. Good work from Gregory. Panapa took the pass well, but didn't make a lot of progress. But here come now the Salford. The charge is led by Marsden, who gets a good ball and a good reverse play there. But they're standing still at the moment, Salford. Long ball thrown out. Good work from Gregory, but they haven't made a lot of progress. Webster spins out of a tackle. The Welshman's done well. He gives a good ball out inside. It's gone to ground. That will be a knock-on. And it was good approach play. Initially, the opportunity set up. Good work from Richard Webster. He's taking a bit of a breather at the moment. He's got to get his breath back for the scrum, and that was a pity, really, although I think Salford just lost the head a bit.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we've seen from Salford so many times this year. We saw the break up the other side where Critchley was hauled down just short, and then we saw the opening created, but not the vital finishing touch, and it's the finishing touch that Wigan are experts at.
Well, that's the difference in the two teams, one of the differences anyway. 2 breaks and 2 try-scoring opportunities have both been taken by Wigan, none so far taken by Salford. Just that penalty from Tyra to show for their efforts. Another unforced error. That time, I think it was Terry O'Connor. That pleased the home supporters. And it's a scrum down. No changes as far as substitutions are concerned on the two teams so far. For Salford, Ian Watson and Craig Randall are on the bench. For Wigan, Sean Long and Neil Cowie. Wigan, of course, 3 points clear at the top of the championship table. Salford desperate to get into the top 8. Long ball thrown out, and a couple of players weren't even watching the play. Well, that was Jason Critchley who got the ball to Phil Ford. They were having a discussion. And Salford, I think, are forced into touch. Form with a bang at the moment, BJ. He did well at Widnes, but this is turning out into his best game so far for Wigan this season. It's only his second start, remember, and Gary Connolly in possession just dies with the ball in the end. There goes Henry Paul, allowed to make a lot of yardage from acting halfback. Good tackle in the end from McAvoy on Rydlinski. Here comes O'Connor again, leading the charge for Wigan. Good tackling from Panapa. But Wigan again looking dangerous now, just inside the Salford 20-metre line. The ball across from Murdoch to Farrell. Farrell tackled, and we're up to the 6th tackle. Murdoch again, long across to Veer Twiglamala. He's got an opportunity to get the ball inside. He's going in for the line, and he's only just short. He's in touch in the end. But that was a powerful burst from the Kiwi. Inga, the winger, of course, originally is now turned to Inga, the centre. And that was a superb run. He almost made it to that corner, but it was the changeover, and Salford back in possession.
Yeah. Good defence from Salford. Anybody who can stop Twiglamala has got to deserve the highest praise. Phil Ford on the receiving end of Twiglamala's attack. But for all that, Salford made it. The penalty, good kick from Panapa this time. Wigan surely offside. David Young for all that going forward, making ground, lifting Salford's fans. But Cliff Eccles, he's going on his own. Good Cliff Eccles, good play from him into the 20. Wigan impeding, referee is going to allow something, allow play to go on. Marsden taking Salford to 10 metres of the line. Can they do something here? Gregory's in there. Where's the runner? Panapa's one of them. So close to that line, looking for support, and it's there. Panapa holding the ball, drawing men in, getting the pass away to Mark Lee, and Mark Lee seeing the line, scooting over to score Salford's first try of the afternoon, and that is certainly a deserved reward for Salford's efforts so far. It came from the solid individual bursts up the middle by Cliff Eccles and Bob Marsden. But in the end, it was the skill of Sam Panapa being able to draw the men in, and then for Mark Lee in support going over to score. Little bit of an altercation after the score was made. Aitchison being pulled out with with Mark Lee. Mark Lee feeling aggrieved that after the try being made that Aitchison was carrying on with his tackling. And if Aitchison was the offender, then surely that's a penalty as well that must go Salford's way. The referee perhaps is deciding it was 6 of one and half a dozen of the other. Certainly giving both players a good talking to, but a good try for Salford, bringing them right back into this game. 12 points to 6, Wigan have the lead, but Salford just reward for their efforts in this first period of play. Phil Ford recovered and in position, and Gary Tyrer with a conversion attempt. Almost in front, ball falls over. So certainly after the problems that Salford seem to have had off the field over the last few weeks against Warrington on Wednesday, and in this game so far, we've seen much more determination and enthusiasm from them. And we've seen points as well. Salford narrowing Wigan's lead. Salford 8, Wigan 12. With Gary Tyrer getting his second goal of the afternoon. 30 minutes gone, Salford 8, Wigan 12. We can get it underway again. Look how strong that wind is. Gregory taking it comfortably. Running into the Wigan defenders before losing the ball, and that's going to be a knock-on. Ironic jeers from the Wigan fans as Gregory just spilled that ball unnecessarily, Jack.
Yeah, it's terribly disappointing. Salford just right back in it, of course, and Wigan have a habit of punishing the opposition mistakes. There goes Andy Farrell on a good break from the loose forward position via Twiglamala, and Wigan could score again. It's a forward pass though. The referee Campbell spotted it. The ball came from Inga. Murdoch was there. The Wigan supporters don't agree with that one, but the referee said forward pass, and I've got a feeling a bit of a let-off there for Salford. In a broken field, Wigan looked certain to add to the score, but the referee ruled it forward. Gregory now, a good switch of play from Gregory, and Salford in possession. 9 minutes to go to half-time. Critchley is trying to straighten up, but he ran straight into Andy Farrell in the process. Good work again from Webster. Good tackling from Connolly. And Salford have a penalty. Mick Cassidy and Connolly combining to do a couple of things, I think, to Richard Webster. One certainly pinched the ball. Another one, I think, tread on his thigh. Penalty to Salford, and Salford, the Red Devils, with the tails up at the moment. Here they come again, led by David Young. Good tackling from Betts, held by Terry O'Connor as well. Mark Lee at the dummy half position, across to Ian Blease. Blease not able to make any real progress and impact so far, but he plays the ball quickly. Cliff Eccles just inside the Wigan 20-metre. Good position here for Salford. Again, the ball comes out to Bob Marsden. Marsden running strong, no support though for Marsden. Scrambles forward, plays it quickly. Gregory, can he produce some inventive play here? Good tackle from Chris Rudlinski where the ball came out. We're up to the last tackle. And Salford are trying to barge the way forward. It's with Panaper. Panaper gets it behind. Blease is still keeping the ball alive. Well, they were, but now it's died, and Wigan in possession. Salford running out of ideas. A touch in the right-hand corner. And Rudlinski. Again, Salford not preventing Wigan from getting these passes out. Skerrett across to O'Connor, is again involved in the thick of the action. And he's made good yardage there, Terry O'Connor. And valuable 15 metres made by O'Connor there. And across it comes again with Wigan. Well, Salford caught offside. Penalty to Wigan, which they've duly taken very quickly indeed. And more pressure now for Salford to deal with. 7 minutes to go to half-time. Just 4 points separates the two teams. Nothing in it. Skerrett missed out in the Wigan win at Widnes on Wednesday. restored to the starting lineup this afternoon by Graham West. O'Connor really has enjoyed himself on his return to the Willows so far this afternoon. Martin Hall got options to the left and right, picks out Murdoch. Murdoch across to Henry Paul. The fullback links up, that's Paul Aitchison. Good defence from Salford at the moment, but now it's Henry Paul with a sudden break from the acting half-back area from a standing start as well there, Henry Paul. Vietwiglamala don't think he can get the ball down. The referee says last tackle. Wigan absolutely camped on the Salford try line. Spin it out wide, we're up to the last tackle. Murdoch goes it alone, he throws it anywhere. Salford are first to react. They're back in possession, but there's a Salford player lying injured right underneath the post. Can't quite see who it is at the moment, but he looks to be in some trouble. Salford at the moment playing with 12 men as Critchley makes a good break. Good work from Jason Critchley. The Salford player just out of your shot is getting a bit weary really to his feet. It's Mark Lee, the try scorer, limping heavily. It's the right leg that's the problem. Meanwhile, play continues with David Young, takes the ball up to the halfway line. And Salford have cleared the lines fairly efficiently and effectively there. It's back with Sam Panapa. Gregory takes over. Turns the ball back inside to Marsden. Marsden to Panapa. Good play from Salford. That's a forward pass. The referee said play on. It's in touch in any case. It was a yard forward, the delivery from Panapa. But Wigan back in possession on the sixth tackle. Mark Lee still limping just out of your picture. And there goes Henry Paul. Again, it's across to Vietwiglamala. Got support from BJ Martin, who takes it at pace on the right-hand side. Pace by Tyra. Tried to cut inside. Good work from Tyra and Ford. And now it's with Murdoch, but they're queuing up now for this one here, Wigan. Betts trying to make progress. Has to come back inside. They've run out of players onto Betts' left. Murdoch to Farrell. Farrell back to Skerrett. Skerrett tackled well, and it needed to be good defence there from Salford. But there's an opportunity perhaps for Farrell. Almost made it to a corner. 2 tackles to go for Wigan. Out it comes again. Murdoch looks for support. Turns it inside for Betts. Betts stopped up his left foot. Again, good defence from Salford. Last tackle signalled by referee Campbell. Drop goal. It's there, I think. No, it isn't. It's just wide. Well, it was from right in front. So the drop comes in. Salford will get possession, and that drop goal miss means that the scoreline stays at Salford 8, Wigan 12.
Oh, what a good game this is becoming. Wigan not having it all their own way like they threatened to do in the opening stages when they put those 12 points on the board, and Salford backing it at 12-8 and showing in that previous period of defence how good they are at this game so far, keeping Wigan out. Wigan still looking the more likely team to score, but Salford have had their own chances. No more so from this man, Sam Panapa, needing 3 men to bring him down. Wigan, no, one of their former colleagues. Gregory running strongly, looking for men scoring. Oh, dropping the ball, it goes to Connolly, and from nothing, from a Salford attack, it's Connolly who's going to go his own. Brilliant dummy from Connolly to score his second try of the afternoon. Well, it's a great try from him, but Salford can feel so unlucky that they have men over. The Gregory pass was taken by Connolly close to, and then Connolly had to run something like 70 metres. The Salford cover came back. Cliff Eccles, well, he bought the dummy, not surprisingly, because Rudlinski was in support. If Connolly had needed him, he didn't. And that's a score that certainly puts Wigan back in a commanding position in this game. Not particularly against the run of play, but certainly after a period of play in which Salford have contributed so much on.
It was a pass from Andy Gregory which was intercepted, and 9 times out of 10, I'm sure that Gary Connolly would agree, would have probably dropped that ball, but it stuck to him. And all of a sudden he was off and away, sold a great dummy, and he's waltzed in for his second try, and for the second time in the game, not a finger laid on him. The conversion's good from Henry Paul. 2 minutes to go to half-time. That's a big blow to Salford hopes. Paul Aitchison having treatment just out of your shot on the far side of the field from the Wigan physio. In fact, 1 or 2 of the Wigan players need words of wisdom at the moment, but super play there from Gary Connolly. He's gone in from fully 60 yards always looked likely to score once he's kept hold of the ball. And I don't think the Salford players could believe it in actual fact that he controlled it. But great play from Connolly, great anticipation. The pass came out from Gregory. And there was Connolly waiting just for an opportunity like that, and he took it easily in the end. 18-8 the score now, a big blow to the hopes of Salford. One or two people may get dejected, and they need perhaps boosting at the halfway stage. But a good performance from Wigan nonetheless. Take nothing away from them. There goes Farrell down the right centre channel at the moment. Martin Hall across to Terry O'Connor. The supporters thought it was a forward pass, and some of them did. Out it comes to Murdoch. Murdoch to Betts. It back inside to Skerritt. And certainly Terry O'Connor has enjoyed himself on his return to the Willows. He's set up one of the 3 Wigan tries. Little dab forward comes from Martin Hall, and it's not a bad one either. Gary Tyrett, well, he spilled it. That's bad play from Tyrett. He wasn't under a lot of pressure, really. Initially he wasn't. He should have took the ball fairly comfortably. He didn't, and I'm afraid he's put his teammates under pressure. We're into stoppage time at the end of the first half, and Andy Gregory has got 1 or 2 words to say, I'm sure, to rally the troops at the half-time interval. That's a bad error from Gary Tyrett. Dropout will be taken by BJ Mather. Mather steps inside. Wigan perhaps just happy to play the tackles out as we approach half-time. O'Connor again, certainly he's had a great first half for Wigan, been involved in a lot of the play. Hall across to Skerritt. Skerritt back inside. Skerritt again. Well, the tackling wasn't what it should have been there from Salford. And Wigan again look dangerous right on the half-time hooter. Betts with a running chance. He's got options. There goes Cassidy. That was a high tackle. No, it wasn't. The referee said it wasn't. Unbelievable. Wigan continue nonetheless with Henry Paul, who spins across up to the last tackle, signalled by referee Campbell. And Salford have possession. The referee said that was a knock-on eventually on the last tackle. So the changeover, in fact, it's a penalty. And Gregory will be to find touch on the far side of the field. Well, that will relieve the immediate pressure, but plenty of work for Salford to do in the second half. We're a minute into injury time at the end of the first period here at the Willows. And a scoreline of 18-8 in favour of the visitors. Tells its own story, really. And Salford will be particularly disappointed, especially after getting back in it at 12 points to 8. And remember, they've had Phil Ford as well in the sin bin for 10 minutes. That didn't help the cause. Lee Young, in actual fact, in acting half back across to Gregory. Ford shimmies inside, can't make a lot of progress. Last tackle. Gregory with the grubber, and it's a good one from Gregory, right in the corner. We're deep into stoppage time. Can't recall as many stoppages in play during the opening 40. We're now good 2 minutes over at the end of the first half. Murdoch to feed the scrum. Wigan comfortable. Murdoch got to try himself too, as well for Gary Connolly. The goal-kicking duties this afternoon taken over by Henry Paul. And Wigan will feel well satisfied with that scoreline at half-time, without plenty of their stars, of course. Salford, just that one try to show for their efforts from Mark Lee. But Murdoch with a try early in the game. Salford pegged back to Wigan at 6 points to 2 when Tyra banged over the penalty. But Connolly, with 2 long-range efforts, has put Wigan into a comfortable position at the halfway stage. Salford 8, Wigan 18. So Salford with quite a bit of work to do as this second half gets underway. Cassidy, Wigan in possession immediately from the kick-off. Cassidy just drives the ball away from the danger area. Betts first receiver. Broken through the first tackle. That's a good run from Dennis Betts. Phil Ford eventually nailed him. But a positive run from Dennis Betts right at the start of the second half. A change on the Salford team. Andy Gregory hasn't reappeared for the second half. And Ian Watson has come on for Salford. So that's a blow as well to the Red Devils. And one suspects if Wigan get an early score right at the start of the second half, they could kill this game off completely. There goes Skerrett. Just looking around the Wigan team, I don't think they've made any changes at half-time. Last tackle. Murdoch, little chip kick over the top there. Caught as well by Henry Paul. The ball's been spilled a couple of times. Salford in possession. Tyra played the ball quickly. And certainly Andy Gregory, the Salford coach, will be looking for a big improvement in the Salford display in the second half. They really do need an early score to give them some encouragement in the game. Right back in it, of course, if they can manage to do it. And this is a good break from the acting half-back for Mark Lee. It was, who made a good break, but then tried to get the ball into the supporting player, and it's gone to ground. It was Watson, I think, who was trying to get close to Mark Lee. Critchley tackling O'Connor. Eventually, Hall. Andy Farrell. Good tackling from Salford. Bob Marsden. Helped by the substitute, Watson. Connolly, he's on a hat-trick. And good movement, but the final pass was forward. It was Paul Aitchison again who linked up intelligently from the full-back position. Andy Gregory on the far side of the field is just putting his tracksuit on. Decided to either watch or maybe he's picked up an injury. And Salford off again with McAvoy from the scrum. Watson. Panapa. Cliff Eccles certainly been a tireless worker for Salford so far this afternoon. Richard Webster now running straight into BJ Mather and two other Wigan players, but he's still got the ball away. What's the referee given? I think he said he was tackled. I think what he's actually doing there is giving the scrum because the referee is saying that Richard Webster was held and he released the ball after he'd shouted. So, well, that's the decision that the referee's made. He's given a scrum down and Salford have got the ball with Panapa looking for space and waiting for support to arrive. Ian Watson, across the line it goes. Not a good pass from Critchley. Well taken in the end by Nathan McAvoy, who steps inside. Good tackling from Wigan. David Young trying to inspire his colleagues. Watson. Thought about the run around, but now it's Blease. And Salford certainly prepared to give the ball plenty of air in this second half so far. Again, that's Eccles, tackled on the 6th. Mark Lee. Little chip kick forward, across comes Aitchison, has to stoop and do it quickly. And it didn't quite come off for Salford. Wigan back in possession. And BJ Mather attempting to just clear the danger area for Wigan. Scattered a couple of bodies and he's made good yardage there. Here comes O'Connor. Still going, O'Connor runs straight into Phil Ford. He was allowed to continue on his run there, Terry O'Connor. Betts. Farrell takes the short ball from Murdoch. He's well held though, Farrell, by Sam Panapa and Ian Watson. And Henry Paul across to Murdoch. Again, that kick down the touchline. Trap soccer style by Gary Tyra. And tackled by Chris Rudlinski. Two rugby league youngsters. And Salford going across at the moment rather than forwards. And Webster straightens up a touch. He's not had a bad game this afternoon, Richard Webster, so far. There's Panaper, good ball thrown out there by Watson, who gets a return from Panaper. This is better from Salford, inside to Marsden, but he runs right back into the thick of the Wigan players. And the move again, peters out, a touch disappointing for Salford. There goes Blease, running from deep. Good tackling, and a good pass thrown out by Indley. Some good passing movement here now from Salford. Watson again, off the instep and off the side step there, but he still hasn't made a lot of progress. We're up to the last tackle, or we were. The referee spotted a knock-on. Scrum down on the halfway line. It's been a pretty big week, of course, for Salford. That defeat by Castleford here last Sunday. Gary Jack leaving, another loss against Warrington. And they're on the wrong end of the scoreline again today at the moment against Wigan, the champions of the Stones Bidder League. Cassidy. Hall misses out Farrell this time, turns the ball across to Betts. Wigan lost their way just a touch, but they're still in a good field position. Martin Hall again. Murdoch, good ball from Murdoch into Skerritt. Skerritt charges forward. He's made good yardage for Wigan and set up a very good field position right in front of the Salford post. Plenty of options for Martin Hall. He picks out Murdoch again, who switches the angle of the attack into Henry Paul. Henry Paul gets the ball out. Well, it was a good ball, but not much awareness from Wigan. Still a half chance, though. Murdoch couldn't get the pass out to BJ Mather. Last tackle signalled by referee Campbell. And Farrell with some soccer dribbling skills at the moment. And Salford have defended it pretty well. Gary Tyragel read the situation. And brave play there from Tyra. But Wigan still pinning Salford right on their own try line. And Salford will be pretty desperate to get the ball up to the other end of the field. They can certainly clear the lines now. They've been given a penalty for offside. Salford physio comes on behind the posts. Panaper. Out it goes across to Blease. Certainly Salford passing seems a bit slicker in this second half, but they're not able to make a lot of progress. Wigan moving up very quickly. Panaper gets a good ball out to Marsden. Definitely a bit more purpose about Salford in the second half as Lee kicks the ball downfield. It's not a bad kick in the end. Rudlinski will be the chasing player and the covering player for Wigan. Scoops the ball up and now runs clear, or does he? Good work from Salford and a good kick from Mark Lee. That was a Salford winger in the end. Phil Cousins, he nailed his opposite number, Chris Rudlinski. Betts. Runs straight into Eccles and Marsden. No change then in that half-time score. Wigan still have this 10 points advantage, 18-8 at the moment. And Murdoch across to Henry Paul, who slips the ball to Via Twiglamala, who's looking for space and sidestepping absolutely brilliantly as well from Via Twiglamala. He's nailed in the end with a tackle from behind. Well, that was smart play from Inga. Across it goes to Murdoch, who runs straight and spotted a gap. Danger here for Salford. It's a knock-on. Is it? Yes, it must be. Two knock-ons, possibly. Certainly one. And Salford back in possession. Certainly more purpose about the Salford performance in the second half.
Yes, you're right there, Jack. A little bit more steadiness in position, in possession. And we really could have seen something from Salford in the second half. As it is, it's Wigan still with the initiative, still with the edge, not just in terms of the score 18-8, but looking really to have the measure of the Salford attack. Nice little inside pass there, though, to Young. Now there's a chance over this side. Panaper in the middle. Tyra following up inside. Great interplay. Great interplay from Salford, but in the end, doesn't that sum it all up? And I'm sorry to say that Ian Watson has been involved a couple of times and dropping the ball unnecessarily, because Salford there was spinning this ball back into trying to find an opening, but the Wigan defence just too good. Some changes on the Wigan side there, Jack.
Well, I think, certainly two substitutes on for Wigan. Murdoch will feed the scrum. Both Wigan substitutes are on at the moment. Neil Cowie, I think he's come on to replace Terry O'Connor. And Sean Long is another Wigan substitute who's just come on just a couple of minutes ago. But let's get back to the action, because Dennis Betts has created a good chance for Wigan. Cowie wants to get involved early, of course. He's just come on the field. Murdoch Across it goes again to Sean Long, gets support from Connolly. Little dab forward. Salford need to be smart, and they are smart in the end, and that's good defensive work from Salford. And I think it's Farrell and O'Connor, Andy Farrell and Terry O'Connor, the men who've gone off for Wigan. And the two subs on, and already they've both been involved in the action.
So Gary Tyree defending his line well. And another Wigan attack that threatened to score comes to naught, and Salford still looking to work it. And that time it's with the kick, and the kick's pushing back deep, it's staying in play. Salford chases is there, Rudinski has it, comes back inside, but the Salford chasers putting down well inside his own half, and a good period of play from Salford defensively, but Wigan still looking to have the better of it, looking as though that they're the team more likely to score in this phase of the game. Many support, fresh legs from Cowie like that. Paniper on his own, having to take down Cowie, but he does so in the end with support from Critchley and Eccles. But it's Wigan coming forward in numbers all the time. Cassidy that time. In the end, it needs Mark Lee to bring him down at the second attempt. Good line from Wigan, Jack.
It is, and they seem to have just pepped up a pace since the introduction of the two substitutes. There goes Dennis Betts down the centre of the field, and Betts is still going. Not good tackling from Salford. Last tackle signalled by the referee. He said he's lost the ball. Or certainly the touch judge on the far side said he did, and he's given a penalty to Wigan. And it's right in front of the post. Blease is not happy. It should be an easy 2 points for Henry Paul, right in front. No problems for the Kiwi. Hit fourth goal of the afternoon and the first points of the second half. Wigan now move on to 20 points. Salford face a real uphill task. Wigan will get the ball back from the restart, of course. One suspects they will. And that improved performance, I think, from Salford at the start of the second half. But still, they've not been able to put points on the board. Well, they have held Wigan, apart from that penalty kick just banged over by Henry Paul. And Craig Randall has just come on for Salford. We'll confirm for you the Salford player has gone off shortly, but it looks as though it's Bob Marsden. And Wigan continuing their relentless run and charge towards the title. 3 points clear before the game this afternoon at the top. And people now seriously, I think, beginning to talk about the possibility of a Wigan Grand Slam this season. What an achievement that would be. Here comes Sean Long, turns it back inside to the other substitute, Neil Cowie, who's literally waltzing through tackles. The ball's been dropped. Paniper will pounce on it for Salford. Former Wigan player, of course, Paniper. Very popular character during his time at Central Park. High tackle, Martin Hall. Well, Martin Hall could be in trouble here with the referee, Campbell. David Campbell is calling over Dennis Betts and David Young. So whether anything's been said, or maybe the two skippers, not too sure.
No, Jack, I think that'll be one of those reportable incidents that perhaps they'll have a look at afterwards. It wasn't a spear tackle, it's a reporting incident, that's what it means. We just got there before the referee that time, so it's just one of those situations, isn't it, when you've got two big, strong Wigan forwards against one of the smallest players on the Salford team. They're going to pick him up, aren't they, and dump him. Nothing more than that, but penalty going Salford's way, and Salford being let off, I think, in this phase of the game by a couple of handling errors from Wigan, uncharacteristic from them, and this has very much kept Salford in this match 20 points to 8. But they're having to play this game in their own half. Wigan having so much of the field position. It's Salford even in possession, still not playing the ball over. The other field's at the half now. Richard Webster going through strongly. Great play from him. Tyre is still going. It was a forward pass. The crowd We thought so from this position. One decision that went in Salford's favour. Great surge from Richard Webster. Good line from Salford, but the Wigan defence up much more quickly than the Salford attack can get the ball over. Full forward. Can he find some space? I don't think so. There are just too many Wigan defenders filling the line. But Craig Randall going forward strongly and forcefully. He still gets the pass away to Mark Lee. Long pass out. There's a chance now for Salford. This way, Richard Webster. Other side, and the vital pass is lost. Ian Blease is furious with McAvoy because a try then would have brought Salford right back into it. Frustration on Ian Blease's side after a tremendous play from Salford rugby from Salford right across the line. Slick hands, and McAvoy not able to take what would have been a scoring pass.
Disaster for Salford, simply. It would have put them right back in it, certainly with a fighting chance. And the ball was dropped with the line absolutely gaping, and frankly no excuses. Good conditions, and Salford have a penalty. Well, an unusual decision to say the least, but Salford back in possession.
Yep, and a couple of decisions going Salford's way, but Salford need to translate this into points, scoring points. Henry Paul being penalised for kicking out at that play the ball, and Salford with a chance now, a second opportunity in the space of a few minutes, in possession, inside the Wigan 20. Richard Webster going for the first one and gets the pass away. This is good to see. Mark Lee going so well, but brought down by Cowie, I think it was. Salford trying to find a way through, but it's so difficult. Like that tackling from Wigan, so tenacious and fierce, and the ball drops. Wigan snap it up, and all of a sudden you can almost sense a Wigan breakaway try. So Salford again just not getting it right, Jack.
And it's Wigan who take it up now with Neil Cowie. As the sun once again comes out this afternoon at the Willows, shining on the champions at the moment. They're in the lead, 20 points to 8. Going now in search of more points, to what would surely put the game beyond the reach of Salford. No marker. Henry Paul quite entitled to do that. Salford have been caught out on a couple of occasions this afternoon with no marking at the play the ball. Cassidy's gone right back into the thick of it, and Wigan, I think, have lost a bit of ground there. Henry Paul looks suitably disappointed with the efforts of his colleague. Cowie. Martin Hall. Murdoch puts up the bomb. A tester for Gary Tyra. Took it well, but good support play as well from the Wigan player. That was Sean Long. Phil Cousins trying to clear the danger area. Eccles. And Salford are having a good spell. That's David Young skipping his way up to the halfway line. Panapa takes it up, the standoff half, turns it back to Blease. Blease with another powerful run. This is better from Salford. They're looking more dangerous and more confident in possession. Randall, just as I say it, the move peters out. Lee, not a good kick from Lee. Shouldn't be a problem for Paul Aitchison, a patch as he's known around Central Park. And that's good work from the Wigan fullback. Good tackle from Ford in the end. A lot of space though for Wigan to work in. Here comes Via Twiglamala. Tackle by Panapa. Skerrett. Skerrett still going. Leading the troops. Usually leads from the front. Kelvin Skerrett. There's Cassidy. Good ball thrown out to Connolly. Connolly has found space on the left-hand side, but eventually gets the ball to Chris Rudlinski, who cuts inside. Murdoch has support from Betts. Betts is still going. Good running from Dennis Betts. Sixth tackle signalled by the referee, Campbell. Murdoch looking for openings now on the right-hand side. Sean Long across to Via Twiglamala. Goes for the line, throws it back to Sean Long. He's going to run out of space. Salford will get possession. It's not a bad kick in the end. And that's a dropout. Well, it was an unorthodox attack, which resulted in that kick from Sean Long. Had to be covered by Tyra, who did well. But Salford forced the dropout from right underneath their own posts. We're at the midway stage in the second half at the Willows. Salford still trail 20 points to 8. As Aitchison steams forward for Wigan. Good change of direction from Martin Hall. Dennis Betts has been prominent in a lot of the Wigan moves in the second half. Hall again from acting halfback. Skerritt comes steaming up from deep. Another good penetrating run from Kelvin Skerritt. Wigan just 10 yards now from that Salford try line. Murdoch to Sean Long, the substitute. Henry Paul steps inside, there's danger here, he gets the ball back out to his Kiwi colleague. Tuigamala has scored for Wigan, and that should put the game beyond doubt as far as Salford are concerned. It was good approach play. Sean Long, the substitute, involved in the action and the build-up. Henry Paul as well involved, and it's his Kiwi colleague in the end, Tuigamala, who crashes over, leaving Paul with a fairly easy conversion. And that's the power of Wigan, once again turning possession into points. And he suspected that the next score, if Wigan got it, could kill off the challenge of Salford this afternoon, and that's presumably could well now happen. Henry Paul has kicked 4 goals already this afternoon, and that makes it 5. And Wigan very comfortable now at 26 points to 8. Salford trudge back to the halfway line. A touch dispirited perhaps, not a lot to show for their efforts. And it has to be said, against a team, the Wigan team, missing Martin Afire, Jason Robinson, Sean Edwards, Franel Botica and Phil Clark. They're all missing this afternoon. So maybe double disappointment that Salford haven't produced a better performance. But Wigan professional to the end. There goes Cassidy driving forward. 18 minutes left at the Willows. Betts misses out this time. Cowitt, Fresher charges forward. Martin Hall there as ever in support. Takes 3 Salford players to prevent the run of Martin Hall. Mather, Murdoch. Good ball thrown out by Sean Long. It's gone to ground though. Well, misunderstanding there, but Wigan rescue the situation. It's now with Connolly. And we're all back where it started. Sean Long with a great burst. Sean Long, and good ball to Henry Paul. Wigan could be in for another score. Good tackle from forward. He got across very quickly. Henry Paul, surely that's a penalty. Play on, said the referee, and that's another 6. That's a good decision from the referee. It did hit a Salford player. I'm sure he tried to get the possession back. More problems here now for Salford. Wigan piling on the pressure. There goes Sean Long. He's going to score, or somebody will, and it's Paul Aitchison. And that will kill off the challenge of Salford. Well, it all was locked on the cards from the moment Henry Paul took the break. The pass, which the break was made by the substitute, Sean Long. And what an influence he's had since his introduction as a substitute. Sean Long made the initial break. Henry Paul stopped a yard short in Phil Ford's tackle. But a good switch of play out to this right-hand side. There always seemed to be danger. And Wigan now have wrapped this one up. There's no doubt about that. And Sean Long will try and get the extras from the conversion. The Wigan substitute, Sean Long, not too sure why Henry Paul isn't taking this, but I'm sure there's a very good reason for it. Although, not one I can think of. No problem in any case. Superbly struck between the posts. 32-8. Wigan are going to win this one, Steve.
Yeah, I don't think it was ever in doubt at the start of the game, and Salford have competed so well for much of the first half and into this second half, but those 2 tries in the last 4 minutes, both converted, really have sealed a probable victory for Wigan. The changes being rung now. Marsden's come back on for Salford, and Richard Webster's gone off. But Wigan in the driving seat, in the sunshine. 32 points to 8, in the lead, still with 15 minutes to go. And Salford, knowing that they still have to keep on tackling all the time because the Wigan machine will score a few more tries if Salford allow them unnecessary running space, because they've got men like Kelvin Skerritt, forceful, strong running Great Britain international, all going the short route. Marston and Young bringing him down. Going up in the line, it's a little kick over, goes back, recovered, goes back to Wigan, a little kick through into touch. So Wigan showing all the time that they want to take the initiative, that they've got the ideas, want to vary the play, the little kick over, the hand that jumps up to push the ball back, and then the kick into touch. Good play from Wigan. And Salford with the possession from the scrum. McAvoy. If only McAvoy could have taken that pass earlier in this half, it might have brought a try for Salford. If only in the first half Critchley could have made it to the line instead of being just stopped a few yards short. Young trying to get it away, and who's fighting over it? The referee saying it's going back to Wigan. So David Young, one pass unnecessary. And so position and possession goes to Wigan. Sean Long making an impact. Now that he's on, Terry O'Connor has come back on for Wigan. Skerritt's out there. Ball down by Watson, round the legs. Dennis Betts running strongly, drawing the men in, going on his own, taking on full forward, still going. Salford cover over, just bungling him into touch, but what a run that was from Dennis Betts. That started something like 15 metres from the left, went all the way across the field, and in the end it needed 3 Salford defenders just to push him into touch just before he scored a try. Great play from Dennis Betts. Let off for Salford, 28 minutes into the second half. Wigan 32-8 into the lead and starting to coast now. Solo effort from Dennis Betts there, nearly bringing another try. And Salford struggling to work this ball clear. David Young running cross field. Watson selling a little dummy too. Nice long pass out to Ford, taken by him. Has to stop and check. But he can't get clear because the tackling too good. Mather that time on him. Long pass out there, intercepted almost, so it'll be a 6 more to Salford. So well, these passes look good when they go, but when they get intercepted, they don't. That interception not taken cleanly, so Salford with the second of this next set of 6, trying to create an opening, but not really looking as though they're going to do it. But Phil Eccles did. Cousins was there in support. Good little break from Eccles, and a chance again for Salford if they can get the ball out this side fast enough. McAvoy was in there, halted with a thrilling tackle, thrilling super tackle by Wigan, wrapping the ball up, and an afternoon for McAvoy there. He'll look back on and think, if only, Jack.
Well, it's not to be Salford's day, is it? It's as simple as that, really. Wigan have defended fairly well, and another indication of the strength which is available at Central Park. A lot of their established senior players missing, either rested or injured, with a big Challenge Cup tie to come. The youngsters take over and keep the bandwagon rolling towards another title triumph for the current champions. Sean Long had a great game since he came on as substitute. Henry Paul has had an inspired second half as well. And Wigan, another good total of points, which could be crucial come the final analysis. There's Murdoch, turns the ball back inside, and Salford are in trouble again. Chris Radlinski caught in 2 minds, chip kicks for the line. Henry Paul is there, so too are 2 Salford players who collide with the perimeter advertising. That's a dropout from underneath the post, and Wigan inventively once more turn defence into attack, and Salford look totally disillusioned and dispirited. It's been a big week. A bit of upheaval as well, probably hasn't helped, and they haven't won, and they're not going to win this one. A tough introduction to the coaching career of Andy Gregory, who's now been given the job on a full-time permanent basis, at least until the end of the season. There goes Cowie. Martin Hall. O'Connor. Hall again from acting halfback this time. Murdoch, who got the very first try in the game. Via Twigler-Marler's got a try as well. And Salford are having all the defensive work to do, but they're now back in possession. Some 9 minutes to go, and I think Salford are going to play for pride and not much else in this game now, Steve.
Yep, and it'll be good to see them playing for pride, because we've not been always sure that they were doing that in a couple of matches in recent times. Notably against Castleford last weekend, which was probably the low point of the season. Critchley looking to drive man in, nice pass to Ford. Ford, little dummy. Tyra, Panaper. Salford getting this ball out along the line very convincingly. And McAvoy into space. Good play from McAvoy. Great running from him into space. But that Wigan defence just too good. So Phil Cousins tries to go on his own. He does. He makes good ground forward. Tyra's up there with him. Has to be Randall, who goes to the acting half-back position. Watson, Lee's out there. The kick into space. It's going really to drop over the line. It's just to perfection, but the runners aren't really there. Aitchison under no pressure to retrieve the ball, and that's all Salford are left with at the end of all the effort. Jack, the kick into a hopeful kick more than anything.
Well, more in hope than expectation, you're quite right. And expect Wigan to win this one, 32-8. And still anxious for more points. I think Wigan, if they haven't taken off Dennis Betts, they were certainly going to do. I saw the number 11 on the far touchline a few moments ago. There goes Skerritt. Just 7 minutes left. And it's been pretty easy, it has to be said, for Wigan this afternoon. Well, it's looked it. I'm sure it hasn't been in actual fact. BJ Mather. Cowie spins away from the tackling. Connolly's on a hat-trick. Couldn't get the ball to Murdoch. Last tackle. Murdoch gets it now. Henry Paul turns the attack towards Cassidy. Cassidy steps off his left foot. Cassidy might score. He will score. And it's all so easy for Wigan. There's no problem with that. It's definitely a try. Well, they literally showed him the route to the line there, the Salford defence. Not the best defensive work you'll see in rugby league this season. And the scoreboard now ticks over to 36 points to 8. And Sean Long will again take over the kicking responsibilities. And Wigan, without question, undeniably in control of the proceedings. And some terrible Salford defence, it has to be said there. It started off on the halfway line when Neil Cowie brushed past a couple of tackles and ended with Cassidy taking the pass on the last tackle and just breezing through some weary Salford tacklers. And Sean Long could help himself to his second goal of the afternoon. 5 previously from Henry Paul. 1 a few moments ago from Sean Long. And 1 becomes 2. No problems. Obviously been taking lessons from Frano Botica. 38-8 now. And Wigan, another fabulous performance. Well, it's turning into a bit of a disastrous start to the coaching career of Andy Gregory. Midweek defeat against Warrington. Another defeat this afternoon. And plenty of points conceded into the bargain. And more good news for Wigan, I hear. Sheffield Eagles are beating Leeds by 15 points to 10. If it stays like that and Leeds lose, that means Wigan, of course, will help themselves to a 5-point gap. And effectively, they might as well give them the championship trophy next week. If Leeds lose today at Sheffield Eagles, that's going to really need some pulling back in the remainder of the season. It could be a double celebration for Wigan tonight, as Martin Hall again goes forward. Murdoch with the bomb. Tyra comes. Almost confusion. Eventually Tyra takes it. He's had a pretty sound game at fullback this afternoon, Gary Tyra. And Salford back in possession. And we enter the closing moment.
Yeah. It's always disappointing when you've still got 10 minutes or more, well, from the last 20 minutes of this game, really. It's just been playing out the time, because it's been certain that Wigan were going to win. And if there is anything for Salford to do now for the rest of the season, there are still 6 matches to go. With a change on the Salford side. McAvoy come off and Richard Webster come back on. The Salford doing the best. Doing the best to keep the ball moving, but it's not counting for anything. Another knock on. If there has been any slackness off the field during this difficult period off the field for Salford, then there's 6 matches to recover and regain fitness, to remember the basics of rugby league. When you're defending, you move forward all the time, and certainly on attack, they've shown signs today that they know how to handle the ball. There's never any doubt about the potential ability of this Salford team. Some pride to play for. And then the questions might be asked, are we actually safe from relegation? Difficult to know. But Wigan, well, I suppose at the top of the table, it's a bit disappointing if the championship is sewn up with so long to go in the season. One-horse races, no good for rugby league. Sean Long going on his own and drawing the man. Brilliant try. Brilliant rugby league try. Sean Long playing rugby league as it's meant to, with pace, with skill, with ability, seeing the gap, creating the gap, going through it, drawing the fullback, and Rydlinski in support flying over for a try that is really making a bit of a mockery of the game now.
Well, Sean Long, since his introduction as substitution, has been a revelation, frankly. Salford have not laid a finger on him. He's controlled proceedings from the half-back position. In fact, I think he's been involved in every Wigan try since he came on as a substitute. It's been a great performance from the youngster. And he's banged over 2 goals as well into the bargain. And Wigan, well, they would be on the way to 50 or maybe even more if it wasn't for the fact that there's only 2 minutes left. The news from the Don Valley Stadium, incidentally, is that Leeds are now trailing 17 points to 12. And it's been all, if you have to say, at the end of the day, it's all been very, very easy for Wigan. .18.8 it was at the interval. And Wigan have literally added points at will in the second half. There goes Henry Paul. There could be even more. Brilliant play from Henry Paul. Not a finger laid on him, and he's made it 10 yards inside the Salford half. That was a forward pass, surely. Oh, Henry Paul with a bit of invention. Almost caught out Salford again. The Salford spectators, the ones that haven't already left, are certainly leaving in numbers at the moment. Salford in possession from the scrum with Critchley. Mark Lee. We're playing out time, incidentally. We're into stoppage time at the end of the game. That's Watson. Can't think of any real attack that Salford have had in the second half that's even remotely troubled the Wigan defence. Please. The kick comes in, and even that's gone wrong for Salford this afternoon. It just about sums up their afternoon. There goes Neil Cowie. Picks up the pieces for Wigan, and they'll be happy. And I'm sure they'll be celebrating in the dressing room, especially if Leeds lose. The Grand Slam is definitely on. Chip kick comes in, taken by BJ Mather. Could be more points here for Wigan. Via Triglamala, and Critchley just can't stop him. A long pass, looking for the Wigan scrum half, Murdoch.
Well done, Jason!
A minute of extra time, or injury time added on already. Salford have kept the ball alive up to the halfway line with Watson. And there you have it. Wigan, their charge to the title continues in relentless fashion. A very good opening 40 minutes from Wigan, an even better second 40. And Salford have big problems. Their third defeat in a week here at the Willows. Wigan's title charge goes marching on. Salford 8, Wigan 42.